All right, round 2. So we just finished making a table, and we found that after 3 years, we will make, or the value of the car, will be $9,540.61. Okay, so I could give you a follow-up question and say, write a recursive formula. So recursive formula, I'll write both ways, would be a sub n equals curly bracket. What is the first term? Well, or sorry, zero term. The zero term is 14,000, and that is when n equals 0. And then how can we generalize it? Well, for any term, you need to know the one before, and you're going to multiply it by the common ratio, which remember we found was 0.88. And that's going to be when n is greater than or equal to 1. You could also say just greater than 0. Or if you'd like to use u sub n and stuff, you could say u sub 0 equals 14,000. U sub n minus 1, sorry, u sub n equals u sub n minus 1 times 0.88, and that's when n is greater than or equal to 1. So again, I don't care if you use a sub n or u sub n, as long as you are doing it correctly. So I will accept both. And then in the past, we've used u sub 0 and u sub n, so that's what your answer keys will say, but they are the exact same thing. All right, C would be write an explicit formula. So the explicit formula, we are now generalizing it, would be a sub n equals a sub 0 times r to the nth power. So a sub n will equal 14,000 times 0.88 to the nth power. And that represents the explicit formula for this situation. All right, another example I could give you. Example 2, given the sequence 100, 150, 225, 337.5, 506.25. Part A, determine the common ratio. So to determine the common ratio, we will take our second term, 150, divided by 100. So second term divided by the first term. So that reduces to 3/2, which is also 1.5. I'm okay with you using decimals in this section. So common ratio is 1.5. Now I told you that there is going to be a common ratio, so you only have to do 150 divided by 100. If I give you a sequence and ask you is it arithmetic or geometric, you should test it out for multiple points. You should then do like 225 divided by 150. Do you still get 1.5? 337.5 divided by 225. Do you still get 1.5? All right, B, what would the percent change be? Okay, so side note, percent change is going to be your common ratio minus 1. Okay, so, and that all goes back to your growth and decay and how R is either going to be bigger than 1 or in between 0 and 1. So going back, it's the common ratio minus 1. Our common ratio is 1.5. So to find the percent change, we will do 1.5 minus 1. 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5. Since this is greater, or positive I should say, that's going to be a 50% growth. And we're all done. Alright, so one more example I could give you is just asking what is percent change for a sequence with a common ratio of 0.91. So very similar to what we just did. Remember, I'll write it down. You should already have it written down. We'll do percent change equals the common ratio, or you could just write R minus 1. So we know that the common ratio is 0.91, so we'll do 0.91 minus 1. 0.91 minus 1 is going to be negative 0.09. So changing that into a percent, that's going to be 9%. And then, because it's negative when we simplify, that means it's going to be a 9% decay. And that's that. So your homework tonight is a worksheet practicing all of this. So you have the rest of the class to work on your homework. And I hope you all have a great weekend.